Well, the project is called the Belt and Road Initiative. Let's speak to Einar Tangen, who's a China analyst and joins us now from Beijing. Einar Tangen, thank you very much for your time. Listen, let's try to address some of the concerns that quite a few nations have. I mean, many are really interested in being part of what seems to be a huge revolution in the way the world does business. We're talking about a third of the global economy. We're talking about 60% of the world's population. But critics say that China should institutionalize the Belt and Road Initiative so it's not seen only as a Chinese project. Why won't it do that? Or is it actually willing to, do you think?
Well, I think Xi Jinping stated very clearly that this is not just about China, that it is about the world. I mean, in 2017, he laid out a blueprint that was about peaceful cooperation, mutual benefit, mutual understanding, and an open and inclusive world. Today, he was not defending it. He was clarifying exactly what he thought that meant and how to put that blueprint into action. And he stated that he will keep the yuan stable, that he will involve China in technology transfers, that the main benefits of this are a world which is more open, inclusive, and sustainable. He added a lot of green technology issues that he thought were very important for the ongoing state of the world.
That sustainable word that you use is critical. The Secretary General of the United Nations has expressed some concerns about the possible environmental impact of this project. And China in 2018 alone, coal projects accounted for as much as 42% of Beijing's overseas investments. As it sends money across the world to fund the projects that are eventually going to link one side of the planet to another with the Belt and Road Initiative, the environmental impact has to be considered very carefully. And the figure that I've just given to you, 42% at least, in 1 year alone, that seems to be a little bit worrying because coal is not a clean energy source. We know that.
Oh, it is not. But you can also look at the statistics that China roiled the natural gas markets last year because of their overwhelming demand. The fact is there's only so much energy. And at this point in time, as Turkey well knows, that's being threatened by boycotts, by actions, unilateral actions by the U.S. against Venezuela, Iran, other places that it does not like countries to purchase energy from. So you have a situation where countries themselves are developing these coal mines and production facilities. Why? It's their choice. China does not come in and say, look, you must do this or you must do that. Actually, China has a tremendous amount of coal. They've actually been shutting down their own coal plants. So it's not a question of demand from China. It is simply China does not believe that it should be interfering in the internal matters of individual countries. If the UN voices concern about that, I think we all agree. But when it comes to national sovereignty, as Turkey has found, it is not interested in the opinions of others about how it conducts its affairs.
Okay, let's end on a positive. Tell us about some of the things that you're most excited about in terms of the project, because it is going to be a long-term one. We're looking at 2049 as not only a date for completion, but a date to start from, to actually use as a platform for hundreds of years to come, I suppose.
Well, one always hopes so. I mean, this was the plan when the Marshall Plan was put into effect after World War II. This was going to be the plan that was going to bring peace and prosperity. The unfortunate truth is that every solution brings forth new problems. Now, Xi Jinping is not talking about nirvana. He's not saying that there's an ultimate end to this. He's saying that as technology is changing, as the world is changing, you need a multipolar world where voices are not lost, where one nation cannot dictate to all other nations what they should be doing or not be doing. There's this careful balance. Yes, ecology, very important. It has to be on the top of the list. He spent a good climate accord or any other treaties recently, and that it cannot be said for the same about the United States. So at this juncture in time, I think the positive thing is this move towards rule of law, the idea that China wants to share technology, not hide it, that it's trying to build bridges. It sees the waterways as connectors, not necessarily moats or protective barriers against those others.
Einar Tangen, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on TRT World.